Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad. Ashuttarashutta Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad. Ashuttarashutta Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad. Ashuttarashutta Shishimar Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi Vyas Puja Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashuttara Shutta Shishmad Bhakti Vedanta Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashuttara Shutta Shishmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Goksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Ji Gopal Bhattadas Gunath Shard Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanantari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Nama Jai Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Vrajendra Nandan Sham Sundar Shri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Jai Shri Nanda Baba ki jai. Yashoda Maya ki jai. Shri Vasudev Maharaj ki jai. Devaki Maya ki jai. Jai Shri Dao Bhaya Baladev Prabhu ki jai. Jai Rohini Devi ki jai. Jai Raseshwari Sarveshwari Shivashabhanu Nandini Shrimati Radha Thakurani ki jai. Jai Shri Nandagaon ki jai. Varsanagram ki jai. Shri Gokul Mahavan ki jai. Jai Sarva Vrajavasi Gan ki jai. Jai Sarva Vrajadevi Gan ki jai. Jai Sarva Sakha Gan ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Nanda Mahotsav ki jai. Nandotsav Titi ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, and Nitai Mukeshji, and all the devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and Dira Mataji, and all the other devotees watching. Also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Manjari Didi, Krishna Rose, Jayadev Prabhu, Revati Didi, Haribo. So, yeah, today is the most auspicious, glorious, happy day, the festival of Nanda Maharaj, when this is the happiest day ever. And so he's so happy, there's beautiful descriptions of how generous, he was just giving everything anybody wanted. There was no shortage in the storehouse of Nanda Maharaj. And so it was very appropriate that on this day, this world got the best gift possible. We got Śrīla Prabhupāda. This is the So, um, yeah. So we'll read something about okay, I'm right now I am in as I think you know, I'm in Jaipur right now. And so they said that our program is going to start at 7:30, which is in 15 minutes. I've started late because I was having technical issues, but so I'm just gonna wait until they come and call me. I have a feeling that the program is going to be a bit, it's not going to start exactly at 7:30. So we'll just see how much we have time for. And yeah, like yesterday, my brain's still like at 1% capacity, so I'm not able to. Yeah, I can't think right now. But anyways, we're just going to read, and we'll see how we do with time. I didn't um I didn't plan out anything uh like what we should read, but then I thought maybe we could just read from the book by Mula Prakriti Didi, our Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All. And so yeah, we'll just read from that for a little bit. Um, and if anybody else has suggestions, I mean, as I said, I don't have much time for the program right now. Otherwise, I'd be asking you, Ngri Hari Prabhu or Bhavatarani Mataji, to offer Puspanjali, but I don't want to, all of a sudden, like, have to cut you in the middle. So that's why, yeah, just kind of have to. Okay. So what am I doing? 1 second. Oh yeah. Let's see. Srila Prabhupada and friends to all. Yeah. And Haribo, Rajumna Prabhu, and Mantaramurti Mataji. Okay, so this is a beautiful book. Srila Prabhupada, a friends to all. Early contemporaries remember him. Compiled by Srimati Mula Prakriti Mataji. This book, A Friend to All, is dedicated to our Srila Prabhupada, who continues to reveal his unlimited love and reciprocation to the vast world of Vaishnavas, whose hearts have been transformed by his mercy. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so maybe we'll just read the first few. We've read this before, but it's always nice to Prabhu saying Nectar book. Yeah, it's always nice to revisit, and I actually can't remember everything they said, so maybe we'll just read from Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Gosai Maharaj, our Padam Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Puri Gosai Maharaj. Let's just see how much we have time for. We also never read the later ones, like, let's see, Srila Vaman Gosai Maharaj, I think we read a Gurudev's before. Anyhow, oh, Sheshai Prabhu, it'd be nice to read Sheshai Prabhu's memories. Nice, we'll begin and we'll see what we, okay, 1 second. Oh, and I didn't do Mangala Charan. I just do a very short Mangala Charan since we don't have much time to read today. Okay. अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Vrindayai Tulsidevai Priyayai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now we should recite something for Krishna. Let's recite its special one. What's that verse? Nanda Bhavan. What is it? Makarot Brahmam Shreyam Eva Mahodayam Yashora Cha Mahabhaga Papo Yasastanam Hari. That's the one I'm trying to think of. How does it begin though? Is it in here? I can't even remember what I put in here. No. Anyways, Aho Bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Vrjakosam, Yan Mitra Paramanandam, Purna Brahma Sanatanam. Let's just take this one. This is such a beautiful prayer. Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Smera Hasamurali Manohara Radhika Rasika Mam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru. Okay, let's begin now. So these are Srila Prabhupada's Grihastha years in Kolkata from the 1920s. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj joined the mission of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1927 and was ordained in the Sannyas order in 1930. He is the founder Acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Srila Prabhupada considered Srila Sridhar Maharaj his close friend. This interview took place at the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math in Navadvip in March 1978. It is supplemented with excerpts from taped classes and darshans. And now here's a note from Mula Prakriti Mataji. She says, I visited Srila Sridhar Maharaj's mat with our baby daughter, Nam Pracharini Dasi, and was kindly invited to stay for some time. During our week-long visit, we were invited to meet with Srila Sridhar Maharaj in his upstairs quarters. He was extremely affectionate to us and generous with his association as well. When I asked him about his friendship with our Srila Prabhupada, he was happy to describe a few prominent recollections. Though I did not have a tape recorder available, sorry, I was looking at a WhatsApp message, and thus cannot verify his exact words, I pray to the assembled devotees that they may glean the essence of nectar from this rendition. Prabhupada, then known as Abhay Babu Prabhu, shared a very thick relationship that went back many years, since perhaps the 1920s, at their Gurudev's Kolkata Mat in Bagh Bazar. Srila Prabhupada's family, the Mullaks and the Days, lived close by. They lived close by the mandir, and the two godbrothers had close personal dealings for many years. Srila Sridhar Maharaj first recollected the special times he shared with Srila Prabhupada at the Sitakanta Banerjee Lane house and the Saraswat Mat. Srila Prabhupada had rented two adjacent houses, one for residence and one for business, and he donated the upstairs rooms above his chemical business for the small temple. He encouraged Srila Sridhar Maharaj to come from Navadvip and stay and preach there. Srila Sridhar Maharaj came regularly and stayed for engagements that Srila Prabhupada arranged amongst local devotees, friends, relatives, and business associates. Srila Sridhar Maharaj explains how Srila Prabhupada's fervor for establishing Siddhanta and spreading Krishna consciousness was legendary. He recalled the many letters Srila Prabhupada consistently wrote to all Indian leaders and dignitaries, and how many sincere people he brought to their Gurudev's shelter, and how much he was engaged in sadhana, which included chanting, studying, writing literatures, and distributing them. I think Srivas counted like 80 articles that he wrote for the Gaudiya Patrika and Bhagavat Patrika. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj admitted that his nature was not inclined to go out in public, but that during this time, our Srila Prabhupada single-handedly pulled him out for preaching. He also recalled how Gandhi was in Kolkata when they were living at 66 Sitakanta Banerjee Lane. He said, Prabhu came into the house. Prabhu came into the house there and said, "Come on, Gandhi is here in Kolkata. We have to go over there right now. We must tell him that he must give the people Krishna consciousness. You and I, we are going to tell him." A very vivid memory that Srila Sridhar Maharaj shared described his part in Srila Prabhupada's leaving his Kolkata home and taking Vanaprastha. This was in the early 1950s. He said one night, around 1 or 2 a.m., there was a vigorous knocking on the door of the upstairs mat. It was Srila Prabhupada in great excitement, exclaiming how he had just experienced a vivid dream. Their Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, had appeared to him and strongly ordered him to renounce his household life and take the sannyas order. Srila Prabhupada was shaking with emotion, explaining how he had so much responsibility to the family and to that dharma. So how could this be done? Srila Sridhar Maharaj said that Abai Babu nevertheless earnestly requested him to please award this sannyas ashram to him immediately. Oh, wow. One second, I'm just going to sit in this chair. Srila Sridhar Maharaj told him that he was personally favorably disposed to do this, except for the connection he had with the Mulak and Day family. He explains how they would most probably be disturbed if he were to be the agent. He felt it was perhaps better to do things gradually, and he suggested he prepare himself internally and then gradually introduce the idea to all of them. Then he should wait for some time to see the results. Srila Prabhupada accepted this proposal reluctantly. Very interesting, huh? Some months passed, and they continued their association in preaching programs whenever Srila Sridhar Maharaj visited the Kolkata Mat. Sometime later, as he was sleeping during the night, there was the same loud banging on the door. Srila Prabhupada was there, and he repeated his story. Their Gurudev had again appeared in his dream. Even more forcefully, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada was demanding that his disciple quit his home life and take the renounced order. Again, Srila Prabhupada requested Srila Maharaj to give him sannyas. He exclaims that he was ready at that moment. His reservations were all gone, and he was eager to obey their Guru's orders. Srila Sridhar Maharaj told me, he said, I again requested him to please wait a while longer. I suggested he take Bahudak sannyas, which involves living just a short distance away from the home, but still near enough for the family's gradual detachment. I was family, that perhaps many might go against what? I was family that perhaps many might go against the Gaudiya Math because of this. I encouraged caution. However, this time he was not amenable. He listened to my proposal, but replied that it was not his own decision. It was coming from above, from their master, so it must be done. The next morning, when we awoke, there was commotion in the house next door. He had left his residence in the night. He was gone, and none were informed of his destination. He took nothing, no baggage, no clothes, no prasad or Lakshmi. I consider this to be my great sight. He took nothing, no baggage, no clothes, no prasad or Lakshmi. I consider this to be my great loss. The close relationship between our Śrīla Prabhupāda and Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj continued throughout the rest of their lives. There are innumerable tapes and quotes from both of them about their friendship and mutual admiration. Included here is just one significant conversation between Śrīla Prabhupāda and Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj that recounts a portion of their early association and reflects the devotional service and intimacy they shared. It is insufficient to fully represent their experiences together. Hopefully, this will be researched and recorded by future Vaishnava historians. Oh, just doing param 1 second. Okay. Yeah, so the following is taken from a tape recording of a lecture that took place in 1973 at the opening of the Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Mandir in Mayapur, West Bengal. Oh yeah, there's videos of this, isn't there? It includes a discussion in which Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who are sitting together on the Vyasasan, share memories of their early association together. Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So our Swami Maharaj has done a miracle. Thakur Bhakti Vinod conceived, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur began to translate this conception into action. And we find that through Swami Maharaj, in his last days, it has been fulfilled to such a great extent. We are happy, we are glad, and we are proud. Śrīla Prabhupāda. By Guru and Vaishnav, whatever position I have got, it is by Guru's mercy and the blessings of the Vaishnavas. Otherwise, how may I have? By age and experience, in both ways, he, Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj, is senior to me. Also, I have been very fortunate to have had his association for a long time, perhaps since 1930. At that time, he had not yet taken sannyas. He had just left home, and as a Vanaprast in white dress, he went to Allahabad. Maharaj, I think you remember that incident when he went to Allahabad. Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj. Yes, I do. Thank you. Śrīla Prabhupāda. We took prasadam sitting on the roof. Oh yes, since that auspicious occasion, we have remained connected. Before that, in 1922, I was a manager in Dr. Bose's laboratory in Kolkata. As a young man, I was a nationalist in the Congress Party, a devotee of Mahatma Gandhi and C.R. Das. Actually, I had been in connection with Congress when Annie Besant became the Congress president. But later, I became more serious for that, and in 1920, I gave up my education. Not long after that, one of my friends, I think you remember that friend, Narendra Mulak, he was my intimate friend. At that time, old Tirthamaraj, Bhakti Pradeep Tirthamaraj, he went to my house to beg alms. Narendra Mulak was a very rich man, and he informed me that one very nice old sannyasi had come to his house and had invited him to go to Ultadanga, where there was a Gaudiya Math. He said he wished to go there and asked me why don't I come? Let us go together. He was my very intimate friend. At that time, I was a little pessimistic. I thought, I know all these sadhus. So I said, I'm not going. But he forced me. Why not? Come on. Finally, I told, let us go. So I went to see His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in 1922 in that Ultadanga building. At that time, Srila Prabhupada was sitting on a roof where there was a small room, which now ISKCON has acquired. And they did a beautiful job at renovating it. We were welcomed there because Narendra Molak was known to the devotees as a very rich man and had contributed some money. We went to see Prabhupada and offered our obeisances. Immediately, Prabhupada said to me, because you are an educated young man, why don't you preach Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message throughout the whole world? I replied to him, Sir, we are a dependent nation. Who will hear our message? We can talk about all these things after we get independence. I was politically minded at that time, but he refuted my arguments. Certainly, I was defeated and I took his words very seriously. I appreciated him. Then we were offered some prasadam and came down from there. My friend Narendra Mulak asked me, how did you like this sadhu? I said, yes, he is a sadhu in whose hands Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message is there, and it will be done. It will be successfully preached. I think it was very nice. That was my appreciation. One second, I'm just turning on the fan a bit. Hopefully it's not making too much noise. Okay, then in 1923, I resigned my post at Bose's laboratory, and I accepted the agency for the whole of UP, beginning from the Mughal side up to the New Delhi. I made my head office in Allahabad. I was always thinking that, yes, I met a very nice sadhu. From the very beginning, that was my impression, that I had met a real sadhu. So actually, I perceived that the words Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy, a moment's association with a pure devotee can give all perfection. I perceived that those words were real. I perceived that. I was impressed so much by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That impression continued with me. Then in 1928, there was the Kumbh Mela. Maharaj, when did you join the Gaudiya Math? Srila Goswami says, in 1927. And Srila Prabhupada said, during that Kumbh Mela, all of a sudden, old Tirtha Maharaj came with a party to my shop in Allahabad, the Prayag pharmacy. I thought, oh, these are the people I saw in the Gaudiya Math. Yes, come in. I was so glad. Tirtha Maharaj asked me, we have just come and we are going to establish a new temple in Allahabad. We have heard your name, so we have come to you. Please help us. I told him, yes, I will help you. And this way I contributed some donations. My attending physician contributed too, and some other friends. In this way we became friends, and Tirtha Maharaj had the first meeting in my home with Sarvasva Brahmachari and Hare Krishna Brahmachari. And then Srila Goswami Maharaj says, later they became Jajavar Maharaj and Parvat Maharaj. Yeah. Is the program starting soon?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe,
Oh, Mataji just came and handed me a grain of rice, but maybe you can check in the kitchen. Sorry. Okay. Has Prajana Prabhu. Okay, Jajavar Maharaj and Parvat Maharaj. Cool. I didn't know what their names were before. So Sarvasva Brahmacharya is Jajavar Maharaj and Tira Krishna Brahmacharya is. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada, yes. Wait, and what did Srila Prabhupada say? That this way he had the first meeting in my home with those two brahmacharis. Okay. And Srila Prabhupada, yes, my father was a Vaishnava. When I invited these sadhus, my father thought I have invited some sadhus from the Ram Krishna mission. He was not very interested. When Tirtha Maharaj was speaking, I called my father, who was I think there's a typo here, who was a meeting at the Gaudiya Math. Anyways, he could not refuse my request. So my father, he came down, but he did not think devotees had come. He thought some of the Ramakrishna Rishan rascals had come. He was not very happy. I told him who they were, but still in the meeting he was criticizing. But when he heard the speech of old Tirtha Maharaj, our old godbrother, he understood. Oh, they are Vaishnavas. Immediately after the meeting, he fell down at his feet. I misunderstood you, sir. I thought you were the Ram Krishna mission. I am glad to meet you. That was the beginning of my intimate relationship with the Gaudiya Math. Whenever anybody would come, I would invite them to lecture in my house. In this way, Sridhar Maharaj, that Ramendra Sundar Bhattacharya, that was Srila Goswami's former name, he was invited to my house. I think perhaps I invited Bharati Maharaj, Bhakti Vivek Bharati Maharaj, and you were perhaps with him. And Srila Maharaj says, yes. Srila Prabhupada, yes, in this way, my connection became developed with the Gaudiya Math. Then, gradually, the process began. Harishye tad dhanam shanaya. That's Srimad Bhagavatam 10:888. But at that time, I wanted to become a very big businessman, and there was very good opportunity. I was very nicely associated with the chemical industry of India, Dr. Bose's laboratory, Bengal Chemical, P.R. Paul, and all those people. They liked my business organization. Then I started a big laboratory in Lucknow. Those were golden days. But gradually, everything dwindled away, and at last, my Allahabad business was lost. So after that, I was sitting at home, and Jajavar Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj, at that time, Sarvasva Brahmachari, and also Atulananda Brahmachari, they came to take their subscriptions. They were requesting me, why don't you come to our mat? You are free now. So I used to visit their temple. It was not far from my house in Maratha. Then the intimate relationship with Gaudiya Math grew. In this way, I was going on. In 1933, Sir Malcolm Haley came to lay down the foundation stone of the Allahabad Math. Srila Maharaj, I think you remember. Then Srila Goswami says, yes. The devotees attended that function. The devotees who attended that function were coming from Vrindavan Parikrama. Srila Prabhupada. That Parikrama is another incident. I was not initiated at that time, but I already had great admiration for these Gaudiya Math people. Just as before, in 1933, I had met Srila Maharaj, old Tirtha Maharaj, and other devotees, and they were very kind to me. So during this parikrama, I also thought, what are these people doing on this parikrama? Let me go. So I met them in Koshi, perhaps. Maharaj, you may remember. and everyone was going to see this place, Sheshai. They were led by Van Maharaj and Nemi Maharaj. At that time, Vinodpai, later Srila Keshav Maharaj, informed us that Srila Prabhupada was going to Mathura tomorrow morning, and he would speak Harikatha this evening. And I think you heard me mention before, right? We recently published an article about that time when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada went to Mathura and the Harikatha he spoke there. Then anyone who wants to stay may remain. Otherwise, they may go to see Sheshai. That evening, only 10 or 12 men remained. Out of these, Śrīla Maharaj was one of these. I also thought it wise to stay. I thought, what shall I see there? Let me hear Prabhupada speak. Let me hear him. Prabhupada marked that. He had more desire to see the sadhus than to visit holy places. Srila Prabhupada marked that. Then Srila Sridhar Goswami says, it was better to hear Prabhupada than to waste time on eye exercise. Because Prabhupada is a Vaikuntha person, he could understand. This boy is eager to hear. He very much appreciated that. And Srila Prabhupada says, when he came back to Allahabad, Ganesh Bapu introduced me to him. Here is a nice devotee. Then Prabhupada immediately replied, yes, I marked it. He does not go away. He hears. He said these very words. He told, yes, I will accept him. Then I was initiated. In this way, my relationship with the Gaudiya Math developed more and more. And as it developed, the other side, the business side, diminished. This is a long story, and it would take time to tell. But I had the opportunity of associating with His Holiness, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, for several years. I had the opportunity. Krishna and Srila Prabhupada wanted him to prepare me for preaching in the future. Wow, so our Srila Prabhupada is saying that, how does this keep on happening? Sorry. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, our Srila Prabhupada, he's saying Krishna and Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wanted him, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, to prepare me for preaching in the future. Sridhar Maharaj lived in my house for a few years, so naturally, we had very intimate talks. He was my good advisor. I took his instructions and advice very seriously, because from the very beginning, I knew he was a pure Vaishnava devotee, and I wanted to associate with him. Wow, so Srila Prabhupada is telling directly to Srila, like right in front of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he's saying this, that I knew that he was a pure Vaishnava devotee and I wanted to associate with him. I also wanted to help him in so many ways. He also tried to help me. Our relationship is very intimate. After the breakdown of the Gaudiya Math, I wanted to make another organization with Sridhar Maharaj at the head. At one place, one of my friends had a house at Shelta with Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj. I had the idea of establishing something. Sridhar Maharaj, you may remember it. In so many ways, I tried to organize something, but somehow or other. And then Sridhar Maharaj says, yes. At that time, I also had one house on Harrison Road. It was very small. Wow, can you imagine how things would be now if Srila Prabhupada actually had made an organization at the time and it worked out and Srila Sridhar Goswami was at the head of it? So interesting, huh? So then yeah, I also had a house on Harrison Road, Srila Sridhar Goswami says. Then Srila Prabhupada says, yes. And the house in Shelda, my friend wanted to rent it for only 90 rupees. I said, give me more concession. At that time, he was getting 125 rupees. But because I was his friend, he said, all right, I will give you for 90 rupees. But that could not happen, somehow or other. In this way, I was trying from the very beginning, after the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, to organize something. Then Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj asks, when was the appearance of Back to Godhead magazine? And Srila Prabhupada says, that was in 1944, I think. Oh, sorry, that was in 1944. I think, Maharaj, you were at my house at that time. So somehow or other, the intention for preaching the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu increased at that time. And on the other side, the business side decreased. I was not disinclined. Still, I had some idea to carry on those things. But Krishna forced me. You must give it up. This is all well known to Sridhar Maharaj, how that side decreased. Decreased. Then it almost became nil, and I left home around 1950 or so. Okay, my lord, you do with me whatever you like. Then from 1950 to 1959, I remained as Vanaprast. Hari Bol and Hare Krishna Prabhu. Then Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj says, in the meantime, when you were still in household life, there was our time in Bombay, the Bombay life. Then Srila Prabhupada, the Bombay life, yes. Practically, the Gaudiya Math there was established by us. I was there, Sridhar Maharaj also, and we made 2 parties for collecting alms. Sridhar Maharaj, myself, and Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, who at that time was Atulananda Brahmachari. We made 1 party. I took them to some of my friends, business friends and doctor friends. We collected about 500 rupees. Sridhar Maharaj would speak, I would give an introduction, and Goswami Maharaj would canvass. In this way, we combined together, collecting 500 rupees in 1 or 2 days. At that time, 500 rupees was a big sum. Goswami Maharaj very much appreciated me, and he began to speak highly about me. He said that Abhay Babu is very expert. He has so many friends. He has collected so many things. So why shouldn't he be in charge of the month? He spoke in this way. Why should he not be with us? Why is he living separately? But Prabhupada told me, and Sridhar Maharaj may remember it. He said, it is better to live separate from them now. You will do the needful in due course of time. I could not understand what Srila Prabhupada meant by that, but his blessings and inclination were always upon me, although I was unfit. He was so kind. Then Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj says, also, I was afraid of not collecting sufficient funds to construct the Bombay Math. So he asked you. And Srila Prabhupada says, yes, Prabhupada gave me some money. Because of that, he said, you keep this money, and when they have need, you can give it. So it is by Guru and Vaishnav's grace, whatever position I have gotten, it is by Guru's grace and the Vaishnav's blessing. Otherwise, I am insufficient. So I wish that Sridhar Maharaj may continue to bestow his blessings, as he has always been doing, and may Guru Maharaj help me, so that I can give some service for a long time. Then Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj says, you are translating Srimad Bhagavatam in Radha Damodar Mandir. The inspiration that you received in Srila Jiva Goswami's Mandir, and which the deities gave you, was for going to the foreign lands. And Srila Prabhupada says, yes, Guru Maharaj wanted that Mahaprabhu's message be preached abroad, and the Gaudiya Math people did not do anything. So I thought, let me try in this old age. This inspiration came to go to the West, and I went. And by his grace, it has become a little successful. That's all. I have no credit. Wow. It's so humble. He says, it became a little successful. That's all. I have no credit. It is all the blessings of Guru and Vaishnava. I did not know how things were happening. I am not at all a bona fide person. It is only through Charya Vaishnav Seva Nistar Payeche Keva, without serving an ideal Vaishnava, who can be delivered from the clutches of Maya. Then Srila Sridhar Goswami says, throwing yourself in the currents of eternity. Then Srila Prabhupada, yes, Hare Krishna. Then Srila Sridhar Goswami says, that is carrying you towards the divine. It carries you toward the land of gold, the golden avatar. The golden avatar had a golden color. Then Srila Prabhupada says, yes, I always tell my American disciples that you are so well taken care of in your country. You have all material assets. Your position is very good. And now you take to Krishna consciousness and become a perfect nation. I always preach that. By the grace of Krishna, you have got everything, all material opulences. Now make it plus Krishna, then it will be very nice. Keep always Lakshmi with Narayan. These boys are trying very sincerely and seriously, and I hope, even though I don't live very many more years, that they will carry out this order. Then Srila Goswami says, it is coming down, this descending grace. Prabhupada used to quote Srila Bhakti Vinod, Daro kaho he ruddha habe nai. The divine, okay, so this flow will not be obstructed, that's what it means. But the divine current will never be obstructed. So if that current of grace comes down to us, we are all counted within that current. Srila Prabhupada, yes. In that current, the other side is being washed away. Mayar Vashe Jakshol Bhishe, that means floating, controlled by Maya, from the song Radha Krishna Bol Bol. And we are always being cleaned, washed away by that wave, Bhakti Taranga. In conclusion, what we have presented are just tiny samples of statements by okay, so that's now Mula Prakriti Mataji is now writing. She says, in conclusion, what we have presented are just tiny samples of statements by Srila Sridhar Maharaj glorifying our Srila Prabhupada and his preaching. Once, when Srila Sridhar Maharaj was defining ISKCON, he quoted from Raghunath Das Goswami, Nama Shrishta Manumapi Sachit Ramatra Sarupam, from the Mukta Charitam. And then he said, this is ISKCON, he said. Many times in his humility, he would say, we are from the same soil, but he, Srila Prabhupada, is so great in his magnitude. Like an ocean, he has inundated the world with Krishna consciousness. But me, I am just a man taking a seat in the corner, trying to supply just one glass of water. Once after the departure of Srila Prabhupada, some of his disciples came to visit Srila Sridhar Maharaj in Navadvip. They discussed the preaching of the holy name for an hour or so, and then they honored prasadam. As they were departing, Srila Sridhar Maharaj called them back. He said, I was thinking, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he called them back. He said, I was thinking how your ISKCON's earnestness for preaching is so sincere that Mahaprabhu himself supplied that prasadam to you. So I have asked Govinda Maharaj to make a separate portion for me so that I can also honor that prasadam. And then someone said, thank you for everything. And then Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj replied, saying thank you, that does not sit well with me. That presupposes two parties. Then he added with affection, we are all Mahaprabhu's family. Wow, so beautiful. Well, it is now almost 8 o'clock. They never asked me to come down for a program. I guess the program's not starting yet. But it's starting late today. So, I think we'll conclude our reading about Śrīla Prabhupāda now. And for the rest of the time, we'll read about Nandotsava. Let's continue reading from what we were reading yesterday. Let me just find it. We'll read about Nandotsava. From the book of Krishna, Lord of Sweets, Śrīla Prabhupāda. Okay, so chapter 3, Krishna's early childhood pastimes. I think I'll read the part about Nanda Mahotsav and then we can finish after that. And let me just see if anybody else has joined on YouTube and Facebook. I see Krishna Maya TV, Dandavat Pranam. Okay. So, Krishna, the son of Nanda and Yashoda. So now is Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Narayana Goswami Maharaj. I'm just going to say Śrīla Gurudev. You should come with me to Goloka Vrindavan. Then the devotees say, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Śrīla Gurudev. Yesterday, we heard that Krishna took birth in Gokul, and that the Krishna who appeared in Mathura mixed with that Rajendra Nandan Sham Sundar Krishna upon reaching Gokul from Mathura. We heard how baby Yogamaya was taken by Vasudeva and placed in the hands of Kamsa. When he was in the hands of Vasudeva Maharaj, she was Yogamaya, the spiritual pastime potency. But when Kamsa took her in his hands, she at once disappeared, and in her place came as her manifestation Mahamaya, her shadow. Yogamaya always helps souls serve Krishna, but Mahamaya punishes living entities and throws them far away from him. Kamsa did not know that this switch had happened. Kamsa took this baby in his hands and threw her onto a stone, but at once she flew into the sky and became Durga Devi, or Mahamaya, the shadow of Yogamaya. He saw that she was 8-armed, bore many weapons, and that she was sitting on a lion. He offered his obeisances to her, and she put her feet on his head. Merely by the touch of her feet, he fell down and began to roll on the earth. He then began to pray. Mahamaya Devi told him, You cannot kill me or my Prabhu. The 8th child of Devaki has already appeared in another place. What was happening in Gokul at that time? In the morning, following Krishna's birth, Nanda Maharaj held a big festival. The umbilical cord connecting Yashoda and her baby boy was cut. All the ladies saw this. They saw that Krishna, a very beautiful baby, had come from the womb of Yashoda. So no one in Vraj could ever believe that Krishna took birth in Mathura. They witnessed his birth in Gokul with their own eyes. But the residents of Mathura never witnessed his birth. None of them ever saw that. Now Gurudev is speaking playfully. He says, the residents of Mathura may be liars regarding Krishna's birthplace, but not the residents of Vraj, the Vrajvasis. We should believe the Vrajvasis, not the Mathuravasis. If Krishna says he is taking birth in Mathura, then he is also a liar. We cannot believe Mathuresh Krishna. We should only believe Yashoda and the Gopis, Nanda Baba, and those who reside in Vraj. Krishna is surely the son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda. In Srimad Bhagavatam, however, Shukadeva Goswami has stated, Krishna is the son of Vasudeva. He took birth in Mathura. So is it false? It is not false. Why not? Because Shukadeva Goswami wanted to please Parikshit Maharaj. Who is Parikshit Maharaj? How is he connected with that Krishna who appeared in Mathura? Arjuna was married to Subhadra, the sister of Vasudeva Krishna and the daughter of Vasudeva and Devaki. Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of Maharaj Yudhisthira, would have been happy to know that Krishna was in his dynasty. In order to please Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadev spoke like this. But really, if Shukadev had been speaking to Yashoda, Nanda Baba, or any Brajvasi, then what would he have said? He would have said that Krishna is the son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda. Though Shukadev Goswami spoke like this to please Parikshit Maharaj, by chance, two things automatically came from his mouth. First, he expressed how happy Nanda Baba felt when a son was born from the womb of Yashoda. Nandas Svat Maja Utpanne Jata Lado Mahamana. That's Srimad Bhagavatam 10:5-1. It means Nanda Maharaj was naturally very magnanimous. And when Lord Krishna appeared as his son, he was overwhelmed by jubilation. Secondly, he used the word Pashu Pankajaya when narrating Brahma's prayers to Krishna. There's a verse. No, we went through this verse yesterday. No medate prabhapushe tarirambaraya kunjavatamsa paripichala sanmukhaya vanyasraje kavala vishana venu lakshma shriye mridupade pasupangajaya. Lord Brahma said, O Prince of Raj, you are worshipful for the whole world. O you, whose complexion is the color of a new dark rain cloud. Your yellow garment beautifies your dark, fresh rain cloud-colored limbs, like a steady streak of light. Your neck is decorated with a garland of gunja berries, your ears with ornaments, and your head with a crown of peacock feathers. A garland of forest flowers and leaves adorns your neck. A morsel of rice mixed with yogurt is in your hands. Your eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and your appearance with your flute and buffalo horn is exquisitely beautiful. Your lotus feet, which are the shelter of Lakshmi Devi and are very soft and full of affection for your devotees. You are always moving here and there in the Vrindavan forest on your soft lotus feet to enjoy your pleasure pastimes. All glories unto you, son of Nanda Maharaj, who tends the cows. Please accept my obeisance. Now, so then, Gurudev continues, Brahma is our Guru. He cannot speak falsely. He is saying, Pashupanga Jaya. Oh, Krishna, you have come from the womb of Yashoda. Pashu means Gopa or Gopi. Here, Nanda Baba is the Gopa and Yashoda is the Gopi. Angajaya means to his son. Means born from the body, right? Born from the limbs. Angajaya. Then Jayati Jananivaso Devaki Janmavado. This verse is the essence of the entire Śrīmad Bhagavatam. There's a full article by Śrīla Prabhupāda on this verse in one of the Rays of the Harmless Issues. I think it's called An Ocean and a Drop of One. It's like an ocean in the palm of one's hand. So it states Devaki Janmavado. Some persons may say Krishna is the son of Devaki, but this is only Vad. This is only a theory. Vad means it is not necessarily true. I just added the word necessarily like that. Krishna is the sorry. Now I'm starting to fade away. Let me just stand up. So ignorant persons, those who do not know transcendental truths, will speak differently. The truth has been written in Śrīmad Bhagavatam many times. When the gopis who are in an angry mood, they say to Krishna, "You are not the son of Yashoda because you are mischievous. You must be the son of Devaki and Vasudeva." Speaking to the audience, are you Brajvasis or Mathuravasis? Those who are Mathuravasis or who wants to be Mathuravasis should raise their hands. And then nobody raised their hands. Now those who want to be Brajvasis should raise their hands. So all devotees raise their hands. You should all know that Krishna is the son of Yashoda and Nanda Baba. Oh, there's no description of Nandotsava. Let's see, I'm just checking quickly on purebhakti.com. Pure Bhakti. Mm. Okay, let's read this one. Nandotsav and we'll just read an excerpt. Okay, yeah, we'll just read this first part here. So this is a class that Gurudev gave in 2002 in Keshivji Gaudiya in Mathura. So he says, today is very auspicious. Last night, Nanda Baba and Yashoda had a very beautiful son, and they were so happy. Vasudeva and Devaki also had a son in jail, and they also became happy, but not as happy as they could have been because they were guards. Who were the guards? Demons on the caliber of Putana, Agasura, Bakasura, Chanura, Mushtika, Shala, Koshala, and so many others. And even now, Janmabhoomi is like a jail due to the intensified situation due to terrorists all over the world, and especially in India and Pakistan. There are many guards there during Janmashtami. You can't enter the temple without those guards checking whatever you have. They will even look in your bead bag to see that there is a bomb inside. I had been going for 60 years, but this year I did not go. So Vasudeva and Devaki were very happy, but they could not do anything for Krishna. They wanted to donate 10,000 cows and jewels and many other valuable paraphernalia, but they could not do so because they had nothing. They were in prison and did not have a farthing. On the other hand, Nanda Baba and Yashoda had everything. Nanda Baba donated hundreds of thousands of cows. He donated as many cows as he had, and only the calves remained with him. After some time, those calves became cows. And at the same time, 1 year later, when Nanda Baba again celebrated Krishna's birthday, he again donated hundreds of thousands. He donated what he had, keeping nothing in the house for himself. Yashoda also thought, all my ornaments and jewels and everything else that I own should be donated. In this way, Nanda Baba and Yashoda gave away everything they had. And God only knows from where so many jewels and so much wealth were coming. The supply was endless, unlimited, and that is why Nanda Baba's treasury was always full. This very great miracle was possible because Krishna had come. Jayatite dikam janmana vraja shayata indira shashvaratrahi daita drishyatam dikshutavakas daitrita savas tvam vichinvate. The gopi said, "O beloved, your birth in the land of Raj has made it exceedingly glorious, and thus Indira, the goddess of fortune, always resides here. It is only for your sake that we, your devoted servants, maintain our lives. We have been searching everywhere for you, so please show yourself to us." Okay, so Indira, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of all fortune, wealth, and opulence, was brooming in the kunjas and everywhere else in Vrindavan. She was also brooming in the house of Nanda Baba, and therefore unlimited wealth was present there. Everyone was receiving charity, and at last there was no one left to accept charity. All were fully satisfied. All were fully satisfied. Even demigods came in the form of gopas and gopis, and they were also taking donations. They told Yashoda, "Oh, Mother Yashoda, oh Nanda Baba, I have come to give you badhai, good wishes and congratulations. You should give me something. You should give me something because I am singing and dancing. You should donate something to me for the benefit of your son." All the demigods had come, including Brahma and Shankar, and there was great happiness everywhere because the goddess of fortune and wealth was present. What was she doing? She was brooming and decorating the kunjas with all other places in Braj. It was a great fortune that on this next day, when Nanda Baba was celebrating the birth of his son, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj appeared in this world. This was not an ordinary thing. Exalted devotees come on these special days. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, known in his youth as Abhay Charan Prabhu, was not an ordinary person. Now others should give their glorification. Okay, so we will end here. Jai Ho. It's now 8:14. Looks like we're not having a morning program here. I don't know. I'm gonna go see what the situation is. It's really strange. But yeah, we are ending our program for now. And I don't know what I'm doing actually. I don't know if I'm going back to Vrindavan today or gonna return to Vrindavan tomorrow. But I will let you know in our WhatsApp group if we're having a program tomorrow. And all right. So yeah, just a very short Maha Mantra and then finish our program. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. जय श्री शक्ति नंदन गौर हरि की जय, श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय, जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय श्री परम गुरुदेव की जय श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। तदीय शुभ व्यास पूजा तिथि, व्यास पूजा महा महोत्सव की जय, जय श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय, ऑल ऑफ हिज एसोसिएट्स की जय। जय श्री रूपानु कोरिया गुरु वर्ग की जय स्वपार्षद श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिकान की जय, श्री गिरिराज महाराज की जय, श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय, जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री नंद बाबा यशोदा माया की जय, श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया की जय, श्री दाऊ भाई की जय, श्री गोकुल महाबान की जय, जय श्री सर्वव्रजवासी गण की जय, रसेश्वरी विश्वभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय, जय सर्वव्रजवासी गण की जय, जय श्री Jai Shri Nanda Mahotsav ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Vrindai Sirevai. Riyai Krishna Krishna Bhakti Varade Sattvatai. Pancha Kaushapurushyascha Vipasandhu Jai. Okay, so that's our program for today. And as I said, I'll let you know what our program, what what what's happening later on in our WhatsApp group. Dandavat Pranams, Niri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji and Nitai Mukeshji, Prajuna Prabhu, Mantarmurti Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook. Who's there? Ganga Mataji, Krishna Mai Didi, Shash Sharma ji, and all the other devotees. I'm guessing Indira Mataji is there and Raseshwari Mataji. And all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jaidev Prabhu, Revati Didi, Krishna Rose, Manjari Didi, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.